We got an opportunity to go out and meet with MSD and talking about the wetlands and partnerships that they're doing with some local property owners. So take a look at this piece. Every month we do a segment with MSD, and this month is no different, but we're at a very unique location. We're right off of the Grinstead exit, and if you make a right and go up Peterson and look on your left, you'll see this area over here, and we're kind of down a little bit hidden off of the from the street, so you probably haven't noticed it. But I'm here with Aaron Wagner with MSD, and you're going to tell us a little bit about this project that's going on, and it's about preservation of the area. So talk to us about that.
Yes, thanks for having us. So we are on the banks of a tributary to Middle Fork of Beargrass Creek. And so this is about 500 feet of private property that MSD worked with the property owner and with the Louisville and Jefferson County Environmental Trust to restore. And so what that looked like was, number one, removing the invasive species that were all through this property, honeysuckle and porcelain berry vine. And then the next phase of the project was the actual construction piece that allowed us to reconnect the stream with the floodplain. And then the final phase after construction was complete was adding about 80 native trees and shrubs to the property, along with native plants. So you can kind of see that those native grasses are really coming out right now.
So why is a project like this so important to the community?
So it's really important because when you have a property like this that has the invasive species that we talked about, those invasive species don't have the root systems that really hold in the stream banks and really nourish the native species that are in the area. It doesn't really provide what you need for the birds and other wildlife. And so, it's important for not only the ecosystem, but it's also important for the water quality, because those native plants have root systems that allow, when it rains, for that stormwater to infiltrate into the soil rather than running off into our creeks and streams.
So when you're talking about water quality, where does this water end up? Do we benefit from it? Does it get into our normal systems at some point?
Right, so this is a tributary to Middle Fork Beargrass Creek, and so this, runs under Interstate 64, enters into Middle Fork Beargrass Creek, and then travels through our neighborhoods until it meets, Middle Fork Beargrass Creek meets with the main stem of Beargrass Creek and then the Ohio River.
So Kurt, tell us a little bit about the partnership with MSD.
Well, the Louisville Jefferson County Environmental Trust is a land trust organization. We're what's called a quasi-governmental land trust, in that our board is comprised of 4 governmental agencies in Metro, meaning Metro Parks, MSD, Planning and Design Services, and Public Works. And then there's 5 citizen members that serve at large on that board. And really the mission of the Louisville Jefferson County Environmental Trust is to help folks that want to preserve land and spaces that are very important to them.
When you all come together, is there like a financial agreement between you and that individual property owner and the city, and do you all help them come up with the funding in order to get a great project like this done?
Well, this project here kind of stemmed from an interaction with MSD, because there's a facility that runs through here, sewer line, and there had been a conservation easement on this property that was placed here in 1981 by the Hilliard family, and that was called a scenic conservation easement. When that easement was written, it was so restrictive that you could not do anything on this property to enhance its environmental values.
When you look at projects like this, do you all have several that are in the works that are going on around the city at the same time?
Not through the Environmental Trust, but there certainly MSD has a lot of projects that they're engaged with to work towards water quality improvement and wildlife habitat. So on this particular project, again, if you had looked at this prior to the stream restoration from either one of the roads here, the only thing that you would see is what that ground looks like in the far distance.
going over there, and if you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't know it's there. But it's a very unique partnership, and it's going to be a lot of nature that's going to be able to come back and exist over in that area.
I like that. Makes me think of the ecosystem.
Yes.
And it's just something good still that MSD is involved in. You know what I mean?
You are correct.
Great.
We'll take another break and back with more right after this.